Hey everyone, happy Friday off the rails sports with Bert Beiswanger. I hope you're getting a leg up on the weekend. It is a beautiful Friday, so get that weekend started. It's 1 o'clock as I record this right now. Weekend starts as far as I'm concerned. Um, hey, got sporting a golf hat today. This is a TPC Players Championship hat. I didn't get it there, but someone got it for me. And I am sporting it this weekend as we officially kick off the 2026 PGA Tour season. They are in Honolulu at the Sony Open, maybe the last year of the Sony Open. I hope not. They were supposed to open the season at Kapalua at the Century Tournament of Champions last week. They had to cancel that due to some water issues in the course. Nonetheless, both of those tournaments are in a state of flux going into next year, which stinks because when you're sitting here in cold weather climates in January, turning on the TV to watch some golf in Hawaii is not a bad thing. So I don't want the PGA Tour. They've talked about hey they want to maybe kick it off the season after the Super Bowl. I'm tired of everyone working around golf. My God, or football. My gosh, just do your sport. Golf should be starting in January in Hawaii. I have a feeling that's not going to happen. But anyway, that's why I'm sporting the Players Championship. It's a cool hat, and I'm just ready for the golf season. So I'm looking forward to that. The big news in the golf world, pretty big news in sports world. I know a lot of you folks think the world just revolves around football and basketball and that's it, but that's not what we do here. It revolves around everything: horse racing, golf, hockey, baseball, football, basketball, you name it. Olympics. We got Winter Olympics coming up. Ooh, we're going to do a profile. We're going to do a preview of curling, I think. I'm going to have to dig into that because I really know nothing about it. But I do watch the curling channel, CNBC, every Winter Olympics, and I will do that. Also, we will have the um, the NHL players back in the Olympics. We'll talk a lot about hockey. Winter Olympics is one. I dig the mainstream sport hockey in the Winter Olympics. I don't dig mainstream sports like basketball and whatever in the Summer Olympics, but for whatever reason, winter doesn't have as many sports. Hockey completely different. Nonetheless, see, we got a little off the rails there. That happens. That happens. Back to golf. National news, big news in golf. Brooks Koepka leaving the Live Tour with 1 year left on his contract, and coming back to the PGA Tour now. Sounds like it was a pretty easy contract to get out of. He only had 1 year. Brooks hasn't been playing that well, so he I think he was like 39th or something on Live. So that's pretty low. That's bottom third. So I don't know. There's a lot of back and forth about uh, his return and whether the penalties are stiff enough, and so we've heard from a lot of different uh, media folks, players. I will say there is Koepka is while he's not playing well now, he is a five-time major winner, and for his generation, he's one of the top golfers of his generation. And so I welcome him back. I'm glad he's coming back. He went over there for 3 years. Um, he. Some folks don't think the penalty to come back was severe. I don't know. I think that depends on the player, and I'll get to that in a minute, or the level of player. Um, so the stipulations basically were such that uh, Brooks made the PG Tour known that made it known to the PG Tour that he wanted to come back. So everyone kind of gathered the information. Tiger Woods and other players on the player advisory council, kind of put together a path forward on how to get back onto the tour. And basically, they came up with a formula that qualifies for four players: Brooks, Koepka, Jon Rahm, Bryson DeChambeau, and Cameron Smith. Now, Brooks is coming back. By the way, these are all players that have won a major since 2022. So that's the stipulation. No one else on the Live Tour qualifies because of that little nugget right there. Um, Now there's a lot of speculation if other players will take them up on the offer. The offer is good for all four of those players that come back to the tour, but I don't see it happening this time around. They say this is a one-time offer. No, it's not. If you're open to having John Rahm back this year, you'd be open to having him back next year. So it's a one-time offer until it becomes a second-time offer. But Brooks comes back. He he forfeits his player equity shares for the next 5 years, and he won't be eligible for the $100 million FedEx Cup bonus program in 2026. Those are big financial. Um, those are big financial stipulations that he's given up a chance to receive or earn. And then he has to give a $5 million donation to charity. Now, Koepka, when he signed his live contract, I think it was somewhere in the neighborhood of $150 million for 4 years. So, I mean, yeah, no one's feeling sorry because he pocketed a lot of money. Um, but, financial penalties aside, he's back. Now, he does not qualify for the signature events. Now, that's a big deal. You have to earn your way to qualifying for those signature events. So, the Memorial Arnold Palmer Invitational, the Genesis Invitational at Riviera Country Club, tournaments like that. So, you've got your majors and then you've got your signatures. And the signatures are smaller, no cut fields. I'm not nuts about them, but whatever. I'd like to see them make some more tweaks to those. But you have to be in, top whatever of world ranking points, the official world rankings and FedEx Cup points, rankings, etc. So he won't be eligible to those. Now he can play his way into those. So if you're ranked, I don't know, wherever you're ranked right now, let's say you're ranked 80th. Brooks is way lower than that, but you can play your way into the top whatever, and you are qualified for the next signature event. Um, so anyway, that aside, missing out on a lot of major tournaments like that. He is qualified for the majors, but he was already qualified for the majors based on him winning a major in the last few years. And what else? In the Players Championship. So he's qualified for that. So I'm glad. I'm looking forward to it. I'm glad he's returning. You know, Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods spoke about this, and you know, yes, he says, "quote Yes, we're not going to satisfy every player. This plan was created for a very select few players that met the criteria. You know the names I just mentioned. As far as his integration, he has the right in our sport with our meritocracy that we have on the PGA Tour that he has the right to earn his way into the signature events. I talked about that. Um, he's not taking a spot away from any other player. So that was one of the main concerns and one of the big things that Tiger says he and other player directors demanded that he was that was never going to be the case. So he's add-on. So anyway, yeah, and he's not going to get the bonus pool, but he has a chance to earn his way into the signature events. So anyway, that was Tiger, and then Wyndham Clark. I just saw today. I don't know if he said it today, but I saw a quote from him. So Wyndham's a really good player. Obviously, for those who know golf, he says, I personally really like Brooks and think it's ultimately really good for the PGA Tour, but also it's kind of frustrating that he's able to get his cake and also eat it. So he's torn. If you would have, he says this, Wyndham Clark, if you would have told me that I could have gone for a year and a half, make a boatload of money, and then be able to come back, I think almost everyone would have done that. Well, Wyndham, um, Wyndham's won a major too, so I guess he would have qualified for this. Never mind. I'm kind of losing my thought on that. I was just going to say, I don't know if we would care if Wyndham Clark came back if he left, but he has a major tour in recent times. I can't remember when he won that U.S. Open. It's been a few years. been a few years. So, at any rate, look, this isn't for everyone. Tiger just said that. It's for a select few. And I think everything would be treated as a case by case basis. But I don't think it should be a lifetime penalty necessarily. I do think you can't just come back and act like nothing happened. And they haven't. And he wasn't gone for just a year and a half. He was gone for 3 years. So he had 1 year left on his contract. Brooks really wanted to come back. He was one of the guys, too, that never on the way out the door really spoke a lot of bad things about the PGA Tour. He was pretty honest. Look, I've won 5 majors, and they're offering me $150 million. What am I supposed to do? And he's right. All right, that was a little more on golf than I wanted, but you know what? We talk football all the time. We talk basketball. Who cares? Real quick, let's get the basketball. Some games this weekend. IU is at Iowa. IU could use a win. At Iowa, it would be tough, but that would be a nice win if they could get it. Purdue is at Maryland. Maryland stinks right now. My Ball State Cardinals are taking on Ohio U, and frankly, I am a diehard Cardinal, and I've just that university and how they look at athletics and their commitment to excellence or lack thereof, their commitment to athletics. Goes back decades. Just letting coaches like Rick Majerus leave for, at the time, was not a lot of pay. Ray McCallum, that team was rolling in the 90s and into the 2000s. They let him walk out the door, and it's just they're 4-13. I like Michael Lewis, but I don't know how he can't be on the hot seat. At the same time, what is the path moving forward? And listen, for mid-majors, this era of college sports stinks. For mid-major fans, it flat out stinks. I hate it. This year of college sports is really tough. I kind of can't wait for the football season to be over because, quite frankly, I'm about done with college football. More on that, though. But being in mid-majors, what do you do? It's not like the old days. You recruited really good players or whatever. They stayed in your program for 4 years, and I get it's a different era, but we have no rules at all. Constant movement. In the pros, you have to sign contracts. You don't get just to get the leave after 1 year and go make more money next year. You sign a 2 or 3 year contract. I don't know. I think we've got to get to that point in college. I don't think you can just be 4 years, 4 schools, whatever. I don't think we can have people getting recruited while they're still on another team. We've got to have rules, guidelines, adults in the room. Come on, let's go. The NCAA took flack for so many years. I said 10 years ago, and it's true today. I said, fine, you don't like the NCAA. What do you want to do? Put it in the hands of the boosters and athletic directors and et cetera, et cetera. Wild West. That's what we've got. At any rate, Ball State, I don't know what we do. Please, Dan Towers, fellow Muncie Central Bearcat, and fellow Ball State Cardinal, Dan Towers, CEO of Group 1001, Gamebridge, Cadillac F1 team, TWG Motorsports, Andretti Racing, IndyCar, Cadillac F1. Dan, let's get that NIL going, man. Papa John, I know a lot of people got he kind of didn't become a really likable figure there for a little bit, but hey, man, we need NIL at Ball State. Jason Whitlock, Dan Towers, let's get this thing rolling. And if that doesn't work, if we cannot get, I'll run the dang thing. Because right now, I don't know who's running it. You're not running it well enough. I will pound the pavement for Ball State sports. I will raise the NIL money, and I'll get this train rolling. You can count on that because you're not going to find anyone more passionate about Ball State Cardinal sports than I am. All right? So, there we go. If that doesn't work, then we just go to the Saudis and ask for some of their money out of the private investment fund, the PIF. Hey, everyone else is already doing it. So leave your morals, check your morals at the door because that ship has sailed. Live golf and ownership in pro sports, Premier League teams, NHL, you name it. People will always take the checks. They'll act like you have morals where the money came from. I know we have standards. Don't get me wrong, but mission, vision, values, standards. I kid, but man, Ball State. Listen, Miami, Ohio is undefeated. All right. Now, Ohio U, Toledo, Akron, Kent State, these schools have all figured it out. So I'm not even asking to be a powerhouse mid major anymore. I'm just asking for us to be competitive in the Mid American Conference. All right. That's it. Game of the week for me nationally is the Florida Gators at Vandy, Florida. Lost by 1 at Duke, lost by 4 at UConn, led late in both those games, lost by 6 to Arizona. This team is that close to being a top 5 team. The backcourt has been horrendous this year. And no help from losing Denzel Aberdeen to Kentucky in the offseason. I just still don't understand that one. But nonetheless, Florida, 3 really decent wins recently. They rolled Georgia at home. They rolled Tennessee at home. And they went to Oklahoma and dominated them. Backcourts look a little better. If the backcourt's just good, doesn't have to be great. It certainly is never going to be elite like last year's backcourt was elite. One of the best backcourts in college basketball recent history. But the Gators are looking better, so thinking that's going to be a really good game. Of course, Vandy's been a great story. They just lost their first game the other night, but that'll be a tough road win. If Florida can get a win at Vanderbilt Saturday, 2 o'clock, then they are on the watch list. They're back to in that Sweet 16 type of tier. Anyway, all right, that's it. Purdue's at Maryland. IU home at Iowa, like I said, and Butler at Seton Hall. So, IU football. We made this whole time, didn't talk IU football. We talked a lot of IU football. They are plus 8.5, and I think that seems high. It seems high, but then I think IU takes care of business because I think they're better. There are less opportunities when you look at a whole game, a kind of a holistic team like Indiana, and Florida was like this last year. They didn't have a top lottery pick type player, although Mendoza's probably going to get taken number 1 because that's what quarterbacks do, especially Heisman quarterbacks. Sorry. Lounge, Fishers, same owners as Parks Place Pub. Good place. At any rate, I think IU wins this game. I don't know if they cover 8.5. Seems like a lot. I got to dive a little more. We got to look at the game time situation with some of the injuries on the defensive side of the ball for Miami because they took some big hits. They racked up some big injuries against Ole Miss. But I told anyone who would listen that IU would take care of business against Alabama pretty easily. I didn't think Bama would roll over. they rolled over. But I did think IU would take care of business pretty easily, and they did. And I thought they would handle Oregon because I didn't think Oregon was as good as people were acting like they were, and they weren't. Oregon rolled over too. Hey, bizarre. Watching those teams like that, and knowing that Notre Dame would not have. It would have been impossible for Notre Dame to play like that. They would have shown up. They would have given IU a run for the money. But you know what? IU also has. If you look at the Big Ten championship and how they got the number 1 seed, they had to win the Big Ten championship to get it. So you go back and you look at that, and I kind of look at the whole as IU's first playoff game a little bit. I mean, they were in anyway, but their first playoff game a little bit was that Ohio State game, which earned them the right to play a bad Alabama team and earned them the right to play Oregon again, which they handled the first time. So look at that. That way, that Ohio State game to me is kind of a pre-playoff game. There you go. All right, Hoosiers. I think they're going to win their first national title. That's weird, isn't it? That's weird. It'll sink in. I think this is a different world. I mean, you're going to have a lot of things in the coming years that feel different. Undefeated Nebraska basketball ranked in top 10. That doesn't feel right. You know why? Because it's not right. Because it's never happened before. So I'm on the Huskers bandwagon too. All right, listen. Get a leg up Friday. Have a good week, and we will talk soon, everyone. Have a good weekend.